We are in the creative, printing, and other industries live and die by color. I mean, we even have specifications in the graphic arts and printing industry, such as G7, swap, snap, etc., to help control color from start to finish. Well, for you color freaks out there, I thought it would be fun to tell you a few fun and interesting things about color, besides G7, RGB, CMYK, etc. These facts will blow your mind. So come along with me and see color in a whole different way. Hi, I'm Jim Kohler, Slavamo's paper professor. So, get your head out of that D5000 light hood and let's get into it. The first interesting fact revolves around the color blue. In decades past, the color blue was seen as a low-class color, meaning those that wore blue were of the lower class. In ancient times, or in ancient Rome, blue was seen as the color of the working class, worn by those lower on the social ladder, while the wealthy wore white, black, and red. It actually was the Virgin Mary who transformed the meaning of the color blue, as the opinion of the color significantly changed when it became the color of the cloak of the Virgin Mary. And this changed how people looked at the color blue forevermore. Artists were limited for centuries in the color paint options until recently. Looking at those old and beautiful paintings that go back centuries, you would never know, but it was relatively late in the 19th century that artists really benefited from a proliferation of ready-made pigments. Many of the cheap compounds that were being used in years past, such as cerulean or cadmium yellow, they would discolor within weeks or react with other colors or even the canvas itself. Today's materials are far more stable than years past. And here's another interesting color fact. Red is the first color a baby sees, but yellow is the first color they respond to. However, over time, their color vision improves, so the number of colors they see continues to grow. So by the time they are at the age around 5 months, they can see the full color spectrum. And here's another interesting fact, color-wise for drivers out there. White, which is the addition of all colors, is the safest color for a car. Turns out in studies of vehicular accidents, car color researchers have found that cars painted white are least likely to be involved in an accident, according to Monash University. So what's the least safe color for a vehicle? Turns out, black. Colors that are painted black are 12% more likely to be involved in a deadly crash. Me personally, I'll take my old VW bus painted white, but still drive extremely careful. Pink is a very relaxing color, and to expand upon that, Pantone's 2024 color of the year was Peach Fuzz, which is a very pinkish shade. It's even been said that when people are trying to be angry or aggressive, in the presence of pink, they just can't. I guess more bars should be painted pink. Okay, here's another awesome color fact. Chickens are very sensitive to lighting and color. In fact, poultry farmers use a variety of lighting tactics to elicit different behaviors. Red tinted lights have been found to have a calming effect on the birds, reducing, and you won't believe this one, cannibalism and feather picking, while a blue-green light stimulates growth, and orange-red stimulates reproduction. Go figure, chickens and color. Let me circle back to the color blue. It turns out the color blue is America's favorite color today. A study conducted on 2,000 Americans turned out that blue is the most popular color for both men and women, but more by men than women. You know who else loves blue? Mosquitoes. Turns out mosquitoes are attracted to dark colors, especially later in the afternoon. Mosquitoes are highly visual, especially, again, later in the afternoon, and their first mode of search for humans is through vision. So people dressed in dark colors like black, navy blue, red, that stand out, and the movement, of course, is another cue for them. A press operator once told me that any time they trapped a fly in an ink unit, it was always in the yellow. So maybe flies like yellow. So how about the color red? Well, to most people, the color red connects us to fire and blood. So could that be the reason why judges used to dress in red and not black decades ago? In fact, in the Bible, the angel that expels Adam and Eve from paradise was depicted in red clothing. So again, judges in the Middle Ages preferred red for their robes over black. Even though people say the color red directs them to fire and blood, red can often mean in other cultures beautiful and colorful. So go figure. Oh yeah, one last comment on the color red. A study conducted showed that men are far more attracted to women dressed in red. So you know what? That kills the theory of the little black dress. Okay, I've covered red and blue in the color spectrum. But how about that color green? Well, green came to represent inconsistency in the Middle Ages. For example, Judas in the Bible was often depicted wearing green clothing. The association may have grown out of the fact that dyeing in green tended to be difficult and unpredictable during this time, with green dyes made from plants which created a faint and unstable color that would fade over time. Okay, I earlier mentioned that men and women both like the color blue. Both do, however, have opinions also on their second favorite color. The second most popular color in the University of Maryland's poll showed some gender split, with 27% of women citing purple as their second favorite color, while 25% of men pointed to green. And here's another interesting fact. Images in color are easier to remember than images in black and white. So as humans, we're more likely to remember something that we have seen in color rather than something we have seen in black and white. However, for me, I still like a good old black and white movie. There are a lot more fun things about color, so in the future, I'll do another episode on the subject. But the last thing I have to mention is that we owe a lot of what we know about color to Isaac Newton. His findings showed how light influences color. His experiments using prisms projecting a rainbow spectrum that he would develop into his famed color wheel. At that time, his findings debunked the view, up to that point, that color grew out of a combination of light and darkness, replacing it with the realization that light alone was responsible for color. So when you are working on your next project, remember how the various colors affects us as humans and work that into your next project. By the way, if you were wondering about that red logo for Accent Opaque, remember, red can represent beauty, and that's what Accent is, beautiful. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little episode, and if you haven't subscribed, what the heck are you waiting for? And click on the bell so you get notified of all new episodes, and if you have subscribed, please do us a favor, share. With all that, I'm Jim Kohler, Sladamo's paper professor, and I sure hope to see you in the next episode.